Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. I am Kanan, and welcome to Service Cloud SnapIns. This is how, in the next half an hour, we'll discuss how we can embed customer support in your web page or your mobile application. And thank you all for joining. I have a demo, and the three takeaways really, what I want to have modularized this session is that why is consumer experience or customer experience so important to Service Cloud? And why are we making this new investment in this product called SnapIns? We're a brand new product. We just went GA in February. And then the second part will be the hands-on demo. I'll show you how you can actually embed live chat in your mobile application or in your website specifically. And then the third thing is best practices, prerequisites when you get started with the product. Cool. So let's get started. This is, with technology, we've come a very far. In the last 10 years, we've really come really fast where customers expect instant response. The way we interact with products and technology has changed. Your customers expect you to respond within 10 minutes. They expect you to have personalized responses to them. If I've purchased a product from you, I definitely expect you to know my previous history. I expect you to know what I've bought and help me, get out of the store as soon as possible. That's where the technology is. That's where the expectation is. All of us are living in a web page or in a mobile app. That's where we are. However, customer support today is not at par with what the technology has to offer. So today, if you're on a website and suppose you get lost, you still need to jump out of it, call your 1-800 number, finish whatever you have to do, and then you come back to your website or your mobile application. And that's kind of the support today. However, the technology is way far ahead. And that's kind of what led to the foundation of what we call Service Cloud SnapIns. SnapIns is really embedded support in your web page or in your mobile app, because that's where your customers are. We want to provide an experience that's out of the box that helps your customers kind of guide them through their purchase or their experience through your websites without having to have them jump out and then come back in. And that's a disconnected experience. And that's the problem that we're trying to solve with Service Cloud SnapIns. So there's three tenets that are really important to this product. One is we want to have a connected experience. So Service Cloud, if you know, has knowledge, cases, live agent, and a two-way video conferencing that we call SOS. We've taken all of those, low touch all the way to high touch, the SOS components, and brought them together in one product called SnapIns. It's intelligent, so because we're embedded on your web page, we actually know the page URL. We know if you're logged in. We can use a lot of this context and provide you relevant knowledge articles. We can provide you proactive chats. We can help the customer stay in that domain, finish up whatever they wanted before they call customer support. So we want to provide intelligent, contextual support where they are, and then fast. So typically, if you want to go to market today, it takes you about weeks to set up Service Cloud. We want to cut that time short with SnapIns, and I'll show you in a demo. We really want to make it really fast for you to deploy and get to your customers as soon as possible. And so this is what we think are 3 steps to customer success. You configure SnapIns, which is super easy to do. You brand it, because we will take care of all the REST APIs, everything in the background. All you need to do is customize it and brand it, and then deploy. Deploy means taking that code snippet, putting it in your web page, and you're up and running within a matter of hours or days and not months. So that's really where we think our customer success is. So configure, this is the guided setup flow, and I'll go through this in our video, in our demo. It's just a bunch of steps you need to do, enable. It's very declarative. Once you've deployed it on the web page, you don't need to go back and change the code snippet. The second thing is branding. Branding is super important because we are living on your web page. We do not want to look like a third-party plugin that has a Salesforce look and feel. We want to look really one with your experience. So branding is super important, and we've really taken a lot of care to bring branding in. And the third thing is deployment. So deploying is really taking a code snippet and embedding it on your web page, and you're good to go after that. So that was really the premise of the product, the foundation of the product. Right now, I want to take the rest of the time to walk you through a demo of how you can get up and running with SnapIns. So for that, I am going to go into the Live Agent console. So this is the Service Cloud console. This is where your agents are. The only reason I'm using Classic and not Lightning, Service Cloud has gone Lightning with Summer 17. The only reason I'm using this is because Live Agent is not in Lightning Service Console today, but in Winter 18, which is October release, it will be going into Lightning. So this is Live Agent. This is where your agents sit and they accept chat requests. And then this is your SnapIns deployment. So here it's in the Lightning experience. The only reason it's in the Lightning experience is because we're a newer product. Everything we do is going to be built in Lightning. So if I go into setup over here and type for SnapIns, you'll see the SnapIns deployment. I'll hit new. You'll get the name of the deployment that you want to give. I'm going to call it Tailhead DX demo and click create. Once you've created a SnapIns deployment, the first thing you need to do is bind it to a live agent. So the experience that I'm trying to build is a chat on your website. So that chat needs a live agent deployment. I only have one in my org right now. I'm going to select that and hit save. So the next thing to do is get code. So now here you see we've generated a code snippet for you. All you have to do is copy and paste it on your web page. So I'm going to say copy to clipboard. I'm going to go to a Visualforce page that I already have. It's a pretty simple, basic Visualforce page. I'm going to hit edit and drop in my code snippet and hit save. Once you've saved this code snippet, which is the snippet over here that we generated for you, and hit preview, you'll see that the chat has been embedded on your page. You don't have to do anything. We take care of all the live agent URLs in the background. You just have to cut it and paste it on your website. So here's the experience, the first name, last name. This is a pre-chat form. Most customers, if they are using Live Agent, definitely need a pre-chat form because they want to collect information about the customers that are visiting the web page. I'm going to go ahead and start this chat once I've come here. So I'm going to say test and hit chat now. What happens next is you get placed into, and I don't know how many of you are Live Agent customers or have ever. Okay, so you guys are probably familiar with this part of it, where it comes into the agent queue, you can accept your chat, and it goes into the chat experience. I'm not going to go too much into the chat experience because I did want to show you a branded community or a branded site. And let me end the chat now. Now imagine this chat widget that you embedded. 2 months from now, someone says, these pre-chat form fields are not cutting it for us. We want to change these form fields to something else. Typically, what would happen is because this is sitting on your web page, you would go to your web developer, say, I want to edit this HTML, and the web developer would say, I'm sorry, we're not in that cycle right now, you can't do it, and you go back and forth. Well, we've made this super easy for you because you can now go into your SnapIns deployment as an admin and say, hey, that pre-chat form field wasn't good enough. I am going to maybe take the case subject out, and I'll probably add the case reason instead. And then maybe for contact, I may not need the email, full name. It's up to you. And these are all, so cases, even if you have custom field on your cases, you can pick those custom fields. You can add whatever fields you have on your case and contact object onto the pre-chat form. So I'm going to hit save. And then without any further deployment of the code snippet, you'll see that the case subject field has changed. It's now become case reason. So you can do that with whatever fields that you want on the web page. Next thing that's really neat is the branding. So the same thing that you do with pre-chat form fields, suppose you want to change the navbar color to match your own brand. You can hit that. You can preview how it looks over here, hit finish, and then without the need of redeploying, you just have to refresh the page. Without the need of redeploying, you'll see that the navbar color has changed. It changes everywhere in wherever we use the navbar color. So that's kind of some of the neat things you can do with just the setup area, making the admins more powerful than your web team. The other cool thing with SnapIns deployment is your custom labels. So today, what happens generally is we provide out-of-the-box labels. But every company has its own look and feel. It also has its own language that they want to use. And if you guys are familiar with rename tabs and labels, that's the way Salesforce allows you to customize your labels. It's a platform level thing. We've kind of tapped into the platform, and we've made it super easy for you to customize your labels. So I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. Once you hit edit, hit next. These are all the labels that are actually customizable in your solution, in your product. So I can go ahead and customize them. Right now, I think I selected the German language, which is why all those labels were appearing in German. But if you select English, go to SnapIns, hit edit, all of these labels are now customizable. So I'm going to go ahead and customize start chatting. This was one of the labels that was on the chat form. I'm going to call it start chatting or start chat. Hit save, and then go back to my code snippet over here, and you'll see that it now says start chat. So with this, we've made it super declarative, super admin friendly, where you go into your setup, leverage all of Salesforce. You never have to redeploy the code snippet again. You've deployed it once, and you're ready to go. So these were all of the setup side of things. I right now have a branded website, which I wanted to show you how you can actually, this is how it would actually look on a website. So you can see here, it's called websnapins.com. It's got nothing to do with Salesforce. This is not a Visualforce page. This is an external website hosted on GoDaddy. And then here's my chat widget that's embedded on the page. I'm going to go ahead, click Start Chat. Things to notice here, you can add a pre-chat form URL, background URL. And then these are all the branded colors. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my pre-chat form, case reason, and hit Start Chat. The next thing you do, go to console, you get a chat request, you hit accept. And this is, again, people who are familiar with Live Agent know that you can customize what entities to pop up every time a chat request comes in. I've chosen a case and a contact. You could, if it's a sales website, you probably want to create a lead in the background. You can just as well do that with SnapIns. I am going to start typing with the user, hi user. Again, things to notice. We alert the user that the agent has typed. There's notification. This is the experience on your web page. You can have agent avatars, etc., from the SnapIns deployment. So I need help with jackets. The next thing I would like to show is you can minimize this. And then if I were to now go to maybe women's Denali jacket, the next thing you see is the widget stays minimized, and it follows you as you navigate through the website. If today you were to embed the Live Agent experience, it is actually a pop-out. So here's your web page. You click Chat Now. It becomes a pop-out window. Your losers are lost because they don't know where the chat went. It ends up being a ghost chat. The agents come online, and then the user doesn't tap back. We've taken that away because we've made the experience embedded, and it follows you as you navigate through the website. So I have navigated here, and I can keep continuing to chat with my agent. This drawer, upper drawer that you see here is meant, today it only has 2 options. We are planning to grow this because we want to provide relevant information, like knowledge articles, ability to log a case, who's my contact team, all of that kind of will sit in this one top drawer, and then this is the area that you can use to chat with your agent. The other things that I did want to show were, suppose the agent's requested for a file, I can say to this contact, request for file. Here you see a paper clip. I can request whichever file that I want to transfer, hit this, and then the file gets transferred to the agent. So with this, we've really made the experience. I mean, the only thing with SnapIns is we want to have the experience embedded on your website. We never want to have your users leave the web page, come back. It follows you across as you move through your website, chat is the first channel that we've gone live with in Web SnapIns. Knowledge is soon coming out. If you are a knowledge user and you want to expose your knowledge articles to your end consumers and you don't have a community, SnapIns is the way to go with that. So I'm going to go ahead, end the chat. The next thing to do would be give feedback. Most live agent customers, or most customers, want to know how the interaction went. You can attach a post-chat form. I've only linked it to SurveyMonkey, but typically this would be a post-chat form that you would have, maybe 5-star rating. So yeah, that's kind of the experience that we have for SnapIns today. And with that, I wanted to jump back into the slides. So really, to recap, we created a SnapIns deployment. We generated the code snippet, we embedded it, and then we customized it with branding and with the pre-chat form and the label. So this is really simple declarative setup, a way to embed support on your websites. The next things are, we hear these things a lot, which is some of the prerequisites for SnapIns, or what are the best practices. The prereqs is your org needs to be Lightning enabled. Like I mentioned, our setup sits in the Lightning experience. You don't need to migrate your org to Lightning at all, but you do need to enable that tab and say enable Lightning. You need to have a Force.com site. So this is because SnapIns is sitting on your third-party website, and the only way a third-party website can talk to Salesforce is via Visualforce community or a site.com, Force.com community, which has guest user profile enabled. So this is just the way, as guest users, to access your Salesforce, you need that. And then the next thing is add your domain to course whitelist. This is important, and I'll probably show you guys how to do this. This is important because from a third-party website, we're making calls to Salesforce. You need to, I've added Web SnapIns to my course list. This, if you're embedding it on your website, which is say google.com, facebook.com, you would actually have to whitelist it in Salesforce so that Salesforce can talk to your website without giving you a course exception. So those are kind of like the prerequisites for SnapIns that we have. And then the best practices. So some of the questions that we get asked is, I have a mobile app, should I use Web SnapIns? No, Web SnapIns is really for your websites. If you have a mobile app, you generally want to use the Service SDK. Service SDK has the same capabilities that we offer on the web, but in an SDK format. So your app would actually talk to the SDK. So for a web page, use our code snippet. For a mobile app, use the Service SDK. And then today, we want you to keep your custom CSS to a little bit of a minimum, because we are trying to expand our branding. What I showed you was, some branding colors and some fonts, but we only plan to expand this a lot. So we don't want you to write your custom CSS and then we have to test against it. So today I would, probably have your custom CSS to a minimum. And then a new deployment for each chat button. So typically how Live Agent is done is that on your home page, you want certain agents to talk to certain customers. But on your support page, you want different agents. On your sales page, you want different agents. So you definitely want a different embedded chat, an embedded code snippet. And because of that, we want you to create a different SnapIns deployment per page if you want to. If you have only one set of agents and they take all your calls, then just create one deployment and put it across your website. And then again, if you've written custom CSS, we would recommend you to test that against a sandbox release. Next steps would be if you are a Live Agent customer or you want to move to SnapIns or want to get to a deploying chat, definitely enable Lightning and start deploy SnapIns on your Visualforce page. It is also a Lightning component in your communities. So if you are a community customer and you want to get chat embedded in your community, it's available as a Lightning component. You just have to drag and drop it into your community page, and you will be up and running in less than 5 to 10 minutes. Cool. We have time for Q&A. If you guys have questions, there's a microphone over here. You guys can come and ask there, or, I'll be available even after the session, so you can ask me after the session. you. Any questions or?
Where do you see taking this beyond the chat and knowledge?
So first is obviously our service experience. We're also getting into field service. So one of our teams is working on book an appointment. So if you are a field service customer, with SnapIns, we'll help you book an appointment. So today, field service has an agent experience app, but with SnapIns, you can embed it on your Comcast page and say, request for a Comcast technician to come over. So definitely field service is something that we're going after next. Yeah. Cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. I know we've got fireside chat after this, but have a great time. Yeah.